here.
Wrong button at the wrong time, and it closed my stream. So I don't know if you heard everything I said back then, but this is how I've watched all 6 episodes of Velma. I watch it through Brittney. She watches it for me, thank God, and then I go listen to her. And I pretty much get the entirety of the whole episode. There's one other person I watched, Desparu. We could see what he says about episode 7. He's quite animated, and so he's really fun to watch too. So thanks to Brittney and Desparu, we watch Velma through their eyes, and I don't mind that because I don't really want to go watch this show myself and give HBO my money. I would rather give my money to a streamer and be like, you know what, you watch the episode instead of paying HBO. I'll pay you. I'm gonna you know, it's like us streamers, the jobs we do sometimes. I'm glad she does this job for me. Anyways, let's get on to the episode, because I miss streaming. I like streaming to you guys, and I'm just watching YouTube, but you know what, maybe we'll just react to this. Let's see what we think.
Definitely a lot of plot holes and inconsistencies, so I credit the writers for pointing them out.
Yes, there's a ton of plot holes in this show. Who knows where it's exactly going? They say whatever they want, whenever they want in the show, whether it pertains to the show or not.
As my mom and removed those girls' brains was just here. Where'd they go?
They knew you were coming. They're hiding from you.
Oh boy. And we finally get a clear shot of the killer, and he's got like weird face
The killer! Oh my gosh, yes, first episode that shows the killer.
mask. Okay, finally. Now let's get on to the actual episode. So the episode starts off with Velma trying to figure out what Jinkies could have meant.
So then I thought it might.
Yeah, apparently Velma, this is not her catchphrase anymore. She found in episode 6, she found a note on the floor that said Jinkies. And so, the father finally believed that she might be kidnapped because, Jinkies was written on a piece of paper. And so, Jinkies has got to mean something.
Be the serial killer's license plate number.
Why would you think it's the license plate number? Come on, girl. I know you're smarter than that.
Ah! But it wasn't his license plate.
Well, why would they have a license plate named Jinkies anyways? Like, that's weird.
She does realize that it wasn't the license plate, because of course. And it's not Jinkies the clown either.
Jinkies! The clown!
Oh my god. Why?
Well, that's not good. Let's not show that on YouTube.
Because Jinkies hung himself because of a
Yeah.
joke.
I'm like,
Mom,
let's
I
skip
have to
past
talk
that
to you.
part real
Not
quick.
now,
Let's,
sorry.
Let's
But
not show that
wherever
on
I looked,
YouTube.
it was just.
She's taking this so seriously. She's like, no, Daphne, I can't talk to you. I'm too stressed about thinking about my mother.
It was just dead end after dead end after dead end.
Sophie!
Is that her?
No! I loved Sophie.
Wait, who's
oh
Sophie
my god.
again?
Did they really kill her? Wasn't expecting that.
Is Sophie the stepmom? Again, I can't remember. Oh crap. I'm bad at this because I can't remember. I think Sophie's the stepmom.
And the logo is drenching.
Yeah, they're right. This one is turning darker. So we got the garbage man who, whatever, threw her away for thinking it was him. Jinkies the clown. We won't even talk about what happened to him. And now we got Sophie. I think that's the stepmom who just had a baby. She just had a baby. The baby's like a couple days old.
And blood? Oh, this is getting dark. Okay.
Oh God, Sophie, no!
Oh god, if she's dead, who's gonna clean that up?
Of course, she's still
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You're thinking about the cleanup. Good job, Velma.
thinking about herself.
I'm thinking about the baby! The 2-day-old baby!
Velma, even when frickin' Sophie's like on the ground bloody, she's like, oh no, I'm gonna have to clean up the mess. Oh god, Velma.
Will you go to the Crystal Cove Fog Festival with
Oh
me?
wait.
Velma, stop! This was a fogposal!
Like a prom pose?
Oh my gosh. It was just a prank. It was just a prank. Why? What? That's so horrible. Like, I thought the baby didn't have a mommy anymore.
But for Fogfest.
That's a very dark way to try to ask someone out.
You're supposed to do, like, balloons and Oreo cookies on your car or something. Not dead on the floor just after you have a baby.
Jesus!
You know, the one night a year all of Crystal Cove comes out to celebrate its world-famous spooky fog and pick a fog king and queen.
Oh god, is this some sort of, like, prom queen and king episode?
Don't tell me they make Velma the queen.
Oh boy, here we go.
What I don't understand is how it can still be happening with the serial killer on the loose. What happened to curfew?
That's the...
Yeah, and with the serial killer on the loose, this is how you're gonna ask Velma out on a date? Oh, yeah. Velma, go out with me. With this, I mean...
First smart...
I would be like... no.
Smart thing I've heard Velma say in a long time. Yes, what happened to the curfew? How are they having a festival with the murderer on the loose? And also, why would Sophie play such a cruel prank when there's a murderer on the loose? That's
exactly what I'm saying. There's a murder on the loose, and you're gonna... Okay, whatever.
so wrong.
Whatever.
Curfew is over! Because it's not a serial killer, it's the ghost of Dr. Edna Purdue!
Oh, they're still going with this? They're really gonna try to say it's the ghost? Come on, people.
People would rather believe in a ghost than stay inside for a few nights just so they can party?
Yes, I believe that. Especially after going through the pandemic, I think people will do anything to just go out and party.
Look, you're not the only one worried about curfew ending, Velma.
She really took the time to try to look. Her neck was split.
The curfew wasn't in effect for very long. I don't even remember the curfew going in effect. I guess I don't watch the shows. I watch it through these guys. But when did they say that there was a curfew?
I mean, you gotta give her points for creativity, but dang, that was cold. So then Sophie tells Velma that she's gonna have to have a date in order to get into the festival, and that's just for safety reasons.
So Fogfest is not only date.
So basically they're gonna say if you're with a date, you're safer. So if Sophie goes with Velma, well then, is he staying home with the baby, I guess?
Dangerous. It's sexist, too.
But most of all, I owe the honor of winning Fog King to my Fog Queen.
Oh, is he practicing his acceptance speech? Of course he has to win Prom King or Fog King or whatever it is.
Well, he's the privileged white guy in the show. He's gotta win it.
Velma Dinkley.
Velma?
Ugh.
Is that a joke, Fred?
He's so in love. Everybody's in love with Velma. Daphne's in love with Velma. Fred's in love with Velma. Now Sophie, the stepmom's asking Velma out. Everybody wants Velma. This is the Everybody Loves Velma show. Despite how rude she is and pretty much like what you try and talk to her about your problem, she's like, I have a bigger problem than you, my mom. And she like blows you off all the time, and she says really rude race, and she even puts you in jail. But hey, everybody loves Velma.
Are you being serious? Or is...
I'm actually on your side, though. Like, why? Fred, you can actually do better. I can't believe I'm saying it, but you can do better.
Our problem is you're going...
What happened to his girlfriend from last episode? I mean, the stripper was better.
Going to take over Jones Gentleman's accessories someday, and yet you seem to barely grasp what it is we sell.
That's very true. They haven't really got into the family business yet it's supposed to be a huge part of this family. I would be interested in learning more. I feel like it's like a Kingsman situation where on their front they sell like gentleman wear, but there's like some really dark stuff happening underneath.
And Jones Gentleman's Accessories is sponsoring Fogfest, so if you can't prove you're the best...
So a store that sells ascots for men, which Fred and his dad are the only ones in town who wear ascots. Somehow... this store is raking in the money.
By being named Fog King, how does that make us look?
Oh, God. His parents put so much pressure
Maybe I should start selling ascots if they make that much money.
on him. I actually feel really bad for Fred. Like, genuinely, it would suck to have parents like this. I'm so sorry, Fred.
Who can't win with Velma. So either you find a way to come home with that Fog King
That's
crown, or do not come home at all.
I think we understand why Fred is so messed up now, cause gee.
Gigi, come on. Norval was a bad boyfriend. He ignored you when you...
Did they break up? What happened between episode 6 and 7 that I'm missing? I thought they were together. Do I need to watch episode 6 again or something? Did I miss something?
Almost died from a bee sting?
They broke up. They broke up.
Okay, she didn't know either. Okay, so I'm not the only one that didn't know here. Okay, because I was like, where did this happen between 6 and 7? In 6, they were all, you know, and they couldn't keep their hands off each other. Now all of a sudden, episode 7 starts and it's over? Well, that didn't last long. Like, what, 2 episodes?
I was actually starting to like them, though, of course, Norval had to act all cool in the last episode, and he missed out that Gigi almost died, so that's what broke them up. But I actually like...
Well, yeah, he had to be like, well, I don't want to be like my pushover father anymore.
them together.
And his grandmother is 100% a ghost who's killing our friends. I know, but I still wanted him to ask me to fight this.
I guess I get that she's conflicted. She's like, oh, but I still want Norval to ask me out, even though he totally ignored my almost death. First world problems right here.
Norval?
Gigi, ghost
Oh, okay. For a second, I was like, did they?
Are people asking people in the scariest ways possible to this Fog Fest? I mean, I guess Fog Fest is scary, so you gotta come up with the, like, most insane, scariest, creep me out idea and say, come with me to Fog Fest. Here, I'll pour you some more. Give me a second.
I'm scared you're going to have another baby.
I'm not. I'm done with babies. You guys are still babies. You guys whine and cry all day. Why would I have more babies when I got 3 of them that whine and cry at me all day already?
Y'all just hallucinate? What's going on?
Will you go to Fog Fest with me?
I'll have to think about it.
Oh my gosh. Wasn't she just saying she wanted to go? She playing hard to get or something? She's like, oh, I want to go with him. Blah, go with me. No, I'll think about it. The games they play in this show.
Yes, and the ghost of your grandma steals my brain. That's it. We're through.
I understand.
Can we also acknowledge right now that everyone in this town, everyone in this high school thinks that Norval's grandma is a ghost that's haunting everyone and killing people? How is Norval not, like, being completely ostracized from everyone right now?
Well, okay, his grandma's... this is the problem. His grandma's the ghost? What does it have to do with him? Did he make his grandma the ghost? Did he know his grandma was the ghost? Did he choose his grandma to be the ghost? So why is it Norval's problem when your family member does something? Why do they put it on everybody else? Well, your sibling or your mom or your great grandma's like this, so I don't like you because of the choices that somebody 7 generations ago made. And you're just like, dude, do I nowadays have control over what they, first of all, over another human being, and second of all, what they did 2 generations ago?
Oh, who am I kidding? Of course I'll go to Fog Fest with you.
And now they're back to kissy, kissy, kissy.
We all knew this was happening. She was just talking about how she wanted to go with him.
Exactly. I was like, she's all like, I need Norville. And then he pops up and she's just like, nope. She's got to take some form of control in a way. Because if she said yes right away, she's relinquishing all control over to Norville. So basically, she's got to stand up for herself for just a moment and say, let me think about it. It's my decision. And then of course she's like, okay, yes, I give in. But it's just a way to take some form of control over the situation.
Norville, you can't actually believe this ghost BS about your grandma, too. You're a man of reason. You talked me out of my flat earth phase.
Velma's a flat earther. Why am I not surprised? They really went out of their way to make not just Velma really mean, horrible, and supposedly ugly, but they also made her incredibly...
What? What do you want? You keep saying
dumb. Velma was supposed to be the smart one.
So I need Fogfest to happen. I think you need Fogfest too.
Yeah, I think he's right. I think Velma just needs some time away, time to just let loose. I think she's a little too high-strung at the moment.
What? My anger is rooted solely in this town's selfish desire to party instead of stay inside and stop a serial killer.
Girl, your anger is coming from Dad.
You know what? Maybe if you have the party, if it goes like every other movie in the genre, the ghost will come to the party. Yes, you know, if you want to trap a killer or a ghost, have a party. Because you know they're coming.
I'm scared.
But the problem is everybody's got to be aware of it, because that's how people get killed. Is everybody's like, oh, I'm going to wander off alone by myself to the basement or garage, and I'm not going to take... This is why they're saying you have to take a date, and you'll be safer. Because the person who walks off alone in the dark by themselves to get soda out of the garage dies.
Daddy issues.
Or the first person to get mad and stomp off outside and need air. Well, you're dead. Bye.
Coming from mommy issues. It is not coming from this festival or the Dr. Edna Purdue.
Velma, come on. No one loves celebrating all the crazy stuff that happens in our fog more than you.
No, she's just mad because the whole town should be looking for her mom first, and then she thinks they'll find the killer after that, but her mom must come first, but nobody wants to look for her mom. Everybody's like, Velma, your mom willingly took off. Look, you were a brat. You suck. Your mom hates you that much. You're that bad of a person. Your mom's gone. If you've watched the 6 other episodes, you'll know this. And Velma's refusing to see it. She's like, no. My mom had to be kidnapped. There's no way that I'm such a bad kid that my mom had to leave me. So.
Ghost.
Yep, ghost.
So this fog festival is celebrating the creepy stuff that happens in fog? Okay. This sounds a little strange.
You even like how things can somehow farcically switch places in the fog.
Okay, so is this fog does it have mystical powers? How weird is this fog?
But girls have to have a date to go, and my bottom of the barrel kill myself desperation date is taken.
Oh, I'm honored you think of me.
Oh, Norval, you deserve better friends. Don't accept someone who's that.
Well, Norville's the only one that doesn't like Velma right now, because for the first 5 episodes, he was a total simp. And now that he got over Velma and he got with Gigi, now he's like, so he's the only one right now that isn't all over Velma anymore. He's all about Gigi now. So I guess there's one person in this show that isn't focused on Velma.
I mean to you.
Hey, Daphne, can you believe all this dumb ghost?
They're definitely gonna go to this festival together, aren't they? Are they
I
gonna
was
have a date?
just gonna say, is this how Velma's gonna ask Daphne out? She's gonna ask Daphne.
Steph?
Oh God, it's another ghost! The ghost of Velma! Someone make it disappear by trying to talk to it!
Yeah.
Oh, Daphne. Was that called for?
Yeah, I know I've been MIA, but look.
Ow! What the hell, Fred?
Go to Fogfest with me.
Did you just throw money at her? Okay, that might be the hardest I've laughed.
I know, I'm like, that's not a way to ask somebody. You're like, okay, I'm rich, boom, go with me. Slap you with a stack of cash around. I mean, I don't care how much cash he's holding. You smack me with one of those, I'm like, first of all, I'm going to take the cash you smacked me with, and no, I'm not going with you.
In all of these Velma episodes, Fred just throws money at Daphne and is like, go to the fog festival with me. Playing that over again.
But look.
Ow! No! Fred!
Go to Fog Fest
I'm like, this cash is mine. Bye.
with me, please.
Stop throwing money.
Go. He just keeps going. Oh my god. Fred. Oh.
Okay, fine. I'll throw one back at him. Just so he knows what it feels like. But I'll take the rest of the cash.
This is why he's my favorite. He's just so dumb. But I love him. It's like, don't you want my money?
No, Daphne, Fred's really asking me.
Oh, if only that were true.
Oh my gosh. The pride.
But I am asking Daphne. I have to be Fog King.
Excuse me?
Honestly,
Ouch.
Fred deserved it after he literally was just like chucking
Well,
like
I don't
wobs
know. I mean, just because he chucked wads of cash at her and he says he wants to be Fog King, I don't get why he deserves to be smacked that hard. Ouch. What, does Daphne want to be Fog King?
of paper at him.
Wait, you
At her.
said Fog King, not Fog. In that case, I will happily go with you, Fred.
Yes. Oh my gosh,
But Daphne!
Oh no, Velma's upset because Fred is no longer paying attention to her. Because of course, now that Fred is no longer paying attention to her, Velma's gonna have a problem with it.
Oh, is this the first episode where it turns from everybody loves Velma to everybody ignores Velma? This is changing.
Well, we're off to Fogfest.
Have fun. I'll just be here
Bye.
alone catching the serial killer.
It's a ghost. You know what? I'm not going to let you ruin my fun.
I feel like more people should be concerned about this murderer, to be fair. A lot of people have turned out dead at this point.
Well, if they're not concerned about it and they go to a party and they step away alone, they're getting murdered, so...
Oh, Daphne looks incredible. Look at Daphne. Oh,
She got all dolled
I love
up.
This necklace and like this dress and her hair. Oh,
I like how the necklace kind of slides into the circular cutout, but it's not circular. It's diamond, kind of sliding into an oval shape. Kind of gives it a little balance there. It looks kind of cool.
oh, I love it. It looks good.
I see you ignoring me.
Yeah, what's that like?
Oh. You know what? I feel like maybe
Wow.
all of Velma's terrible decisions over the course of this season is finally catching up to her.
Yeah.
Because finally, everyone's just had enough of her. Good.
Like I said, for the first 6 episodes, it was everybody loves Velma. Well, now that Daphne, I think, solved the mystery of what happened to her parents, she's got her mystery solved. She's done. Her mystery solved. It's gone. Her parents are gone. She's probably, and Velma didn't help and didn't care to go with her. And, I mean, her own parent held her hostage and ditched her again, and she found out the true story of how her parents got her. And so Daphne's got her own thing going on that Velma just doesn't care about, because it's all about Velma and her mom. Everybody needs to look for her mom.
Wait, and now you're drinking?
I mean, Velma should have understood when Daphne wanted to look for her mom. They're both looking for their moms. They both should have helped each other out.
That's uncharacteristic. What's going on?
How is it uncharacteristic? She's a drug dealer. So is she a drug dealer that doesn't do her own drugs? No, she talked about doing drugs in the last episode. No, she doesn't drink, but she does do drugs. Hard drugs. Daphne is a complex person.
I forgot I also used my mom's terrible manuscripts to kill spiders.
So Jinkies is the name of one of her mom's old manuscripts? Oh yeah, her mom used to write mystery stories. So Jinkies is the name of a detective of a story written by Velma's mother. Okay,
The
pieces
case
are
of the
coming together.
invisible-
Detective
what?
Dia Jinkies held the note in front of a candle flame, and a secret message appeared. That's it.
Why did she just like knock the lampshade like that? Like, dang.
A phone number.
Of course. Uh-oh, it's the killer.
Hello?
That was really creepy. Hearing the breathing over the phone.
Serial killer? Damn it, he hung up.
That was actually kind of creepy. I feel like the show, in some ways, is getting worse, in other ways, getting better. It's a mixed bag.
Oh my god, the serial killer is at Fogfest.
I'm done. Hold a party.
Well, of
Serial
course, we all
killer
saw that coming.
comes.
We all saw that coming, right?
Hey, Queen.
Yes. Everybody saw that coming
Gigi
from a mile
and
away.
Norville, they both look great.
Okay, girls can't go to Fogfest without a date. So our only hope of getting in is makeup.
Okay.
Evening, officers.
What the hey?
Oh no. Velma dresses up like a guy to get.
So the first thing about being a guy is make sure you scratch yourself. By the way, so if you're gonna play a guy, make sure you do that.
Into Fog Festival? Are you kidding? That's her solution? Because she couldn't get a date as a girl, she decides to go as a guy? Oh boy, this episode could get dicey.
Manny. And as you can tell by my mustache, I am a male human and not at all related to Velma Dinkley.
Very convincing, Velma. Just go ahead and mention Velma.
I don't know why in shows like this they gotta do this. They gotta explain to you the whole thing. Why can't she just walk up and say, I'm Manny? And we know what she's trying to do. We don't need to explain to us what she's trying to do. We know.
Without being asked.
Sir, I don't need your mansplaining who you are to me.
There's something funny about you.
Are you suggesting I am a woman dressed as a man? Because if you are... No tap!
Oh god.
Raise your hand if you're a man and you do that to other people, other guys, to prove you're a guy.
My work is 1, 2, 3.
Good job, buddy.
1. We see how many nose. 2 and 3. I mean 3.
Good job, buddy. Good job.
Not getting canceled.
And now to find the serial killer.
Just hit him again, just for the heck of it. Everyone's such a jerk in this show.
Where is he? Where is he?
Poor guy.
Where is the serial killer?
What?
One's ability is to gain. Two's ability is to grow 1 sip. And 3's ability is to reinforce everything.
Good job, bud.
I've seen too many viral videos of those things crashing down. I would never get on one.
There he is! Why are we dropping and puking? I have to get down now. He's getting away.
What? Now she's about
that's
to
so
go
dangerous.
freaking crawl all over the ride. The ride that's already not safe.
Gigi, I have something very important.
Love her hair, love her makeup, love her.
Have you ever been on one of these rides? We purposely went up there and we said just talk. Because you don't know when it's going to drop. Just start saying anything. Just yell anything. Just talk. Because as soon as you drop, you can't say anything.
Her.
I am so sorry I ignored your calls when you almost died from a bee sting. I know how belittling it feels to be sent a voicemail by someone you like. I'm talking about Velma. I used to really like her.
I know.
Well, you deserve better than that.
Well, I'm glad. I feel like we're getting some character
He's
development
growing
here
up.
with Norville.
A little
Him
bit of
admitting
arc.
that he's not as into Velma anymore. Also owning up to his mistake to Gigi and apologizing. He looks great. Doesn't.
We have one character who has an arc in this show. 7 episodes in, we get a character arc.
Look like a simp anymore. You know what? He's coming full circle here.
Will you be my fog queen?
No, I can't die. Sophie's gonna put a tread.
Why didn't you just wait in the seat? Why? Velma creates her own
Because
misery.
she's Velma.
Hey guys, I'm Fred Jones. Vote for me for Fog King or I will make it my life's
my
work
God.
to destroy you.
Just keeps throwing money at people, do what I want. Yeah, with all those flyers, Norville and Gigi are definitely good.
You can throw cash as much as you want at people. They're gonna take the cash and they're gonna go do whatever they want. So, don't even bother, okay? Just don't even bother. It's a waste, okay?
Gonna win.
Where'd the serial killer go?
Who is that tasty snack?
How do people not tell that it's Velma as a guy? Looks exactly like Velma. It's like when they put glasses on Superman and you can't tell that it's Clark Kent.
I know. I love it. He does his hair just a tiny bit different, puts glasses on. He's Clark Kent. Slick back the hair, take off the glasses. He's Superman and nobody can tell the difference. It's like Batman. Now I know why Christian Bale, at first when I Christian Bale was Batman, I didn't like his little, I'm Batman. You know, he sounded like he needed to hand him a cough drop. And I told him, I said, I don't like that. But then I found out that was true to the comics, because one of my complaints about Batman in the past, before Christian Bale came along, was, like, Val Kilmer has a very unique mouth. So does Christian Bale, and a very unique way they talk. So when you talk to Batman and then you go talk to Bruce Wayne later, how do you not see the similarities in the mouth, the chin, the way they talk, their teeth? Especially Christian Bale. He's so unique. But he did disguise his voice.
Stop staring.
We're impressed.
Impressed? But that's such a double standard.
Oh my god, and you're hilarious.
So the point is she's getting attention from other women who are being nicer to her because they think that she's a man. Oh, okay.
Once again, everybody loves Velma again. Velma turns into a guy. She's the hottest guy in the park. Everybody's coming after her.
Setting up the whole life is easier if you're a man thing. I'm pretty sure that's where this is going.
Norval, what the hell is this? You really think you can beat me for Fog King?
Yes, I do. You're gonna be a big Fog King loser.
I really like seeing Norval so confident. We haven't seen him like this really at all. He's standing up to Fred of all people.
And if you haven't seen the first 6 episodes and you don't know, Norville is Shaggy, but there's no Shaggy in this show. They got Norville instead of Shaggy. His dad looks like Shaggy. His dad could be Shaggy.
Fred! So now, of course, because they have to, Fred and Norville are about to fight it out to see who's the true alpha male. Norville!
Norval, please! Being Fog Queen isn't that important to me.
Gigi, stop!
He's doing this all just to impress a girl. Oh boy.
You don't think you deserve a crown, but you do deserve a crown.
They've all got problems. By the way, I do want to point out, I love just seeing what everyone else is wearing. Like, everyone has their own unique outfit that fits their own personality. I really like that.
Oh my god, that was amazing! Guys put zero pressure on you to wash your hands.
She's enjoying being a man. She's like, yeah, I don't have to wash my hands, which is gross. You should wash your hands.
Everybody should wash their hands, especially guys. But everybody should. You know, at one time when I was a teen, though, me and my friends were like, why do we have to wash our hands? And why can't girls sit with their legs open? And blah, blah, blah. You know, we went through that stupid phase, too, when we were teens of, we're girls, but why can't we be more like guys? Not wash our hands, sit with our legs open. Take up 2 seats on a bus instead of 1. You know, girls are... But then after a while... But that's when you're in the phase of, I wear pants, I don't wear skirts. And so... Once you start wearing dresses and stuff, you realize, oh, now I know why women don't sit with their legs open. You know, we have to be modest in everything and not be Britney Spears and being caught with our legs wide open as we're getting out of a car.
Who are you?
Can't get over how amazing Daphne looks. She looks incredible.
You remind me of my friend Velma. To dance.
Daphne has won me over. I just still wish she wasn't a drug dealer.
Well, she's still obsessed with Velma, technically. She's like, I want to be with this guy because he reminds me of Velma. So it's like weird, like what is she? Is she in love with another girl? Is she in love with guys? Because she goes back and forth between guys and girls, and now she's like, well, I'm so in love with Velma, who's this female, that I'm going to go ahead and dance with this male version of Velma.
Okay, Daphne cannot dance, but that's okay. We still love you, girl. Oh, gosh. That is the saddest worm I have ever seen.
Wait a second. As a guy, everyone thinks
he's gonna get king. I bet you Velma's gonna... I saw this from the beginning. Velma's gonna get king. And then Fred and Norville are gonna be mad when they find out it's Velma.
Your qualities as a girl are awesome.
It's like, oh wow, it's amazing. I'm much more liked as a guy. I don't know. Is this true? Velma?
Could it be because you're being more chill as a guy? Could it be not that you're a guy, but you're not rushing around insulting everybody and talking about your mom? I mean, people don't look at it that way. It's not that she's a guy that she's liked. And she's out there dancing, having fun, letting loose. Her attitude has changed. It's not about a sex change. It's about the attitude change.
That's so unlikable. Is she more likable as a guy? I don't agree. I think she's still just very unlikable person.
She is. She's just acting very differently. The way she's acting right now, if she acted like that as Velma every day, chilled, joined in with people on what they're doing, they're dancing, she's dancing, they're having fun, she's having fun. But instead, she's walking down the hallway going, no, don't need to talk, don't, no, where's my mom? I'm having ghosts, somebody help me. I'm having hallucinations, no. It's not the sex change, it's the attitude change.
Everyone, I have something to say. And as a
I'm
man
Velma.
speaking authoritatively, you are going to listen to me and you are going to believe me.
I don't know. I don't think anyone would take you seriously. I mean, no one even knows who you are.
I know that as Americans, we want a party, but curfew cannot end because the serial killer is still on the loose.
That's what my daughter's been saying, but for some reason I believe it more from you.
Oh God. Her dad continues to be absolutely awful. And also, why did Sophie bring an absolute...
Sometimes this is stupid. I mean, this is sometimes grounded in reality. I have this problem, like, I say something, but because I'm an ESFJ and I say things in an emotional way, and my husband says things way differently than me in a more logical way, he can say the same thing that I'm saying. He just words it a tad bit differently. Sometimes he leaves out detail. I add more detail. People listen to him more than me, and I'm just like, why? I said the same damn thing.
Absolutely fresh newborn baby to a festival? What's going on? She looks amazing. Why did she bring a newborn to a party?
What do we say? We say Manny for Fog King!
Nope, there you go.
So now Velma becomes Fog King? Man, I mean, at this point, can you disagree with her for saying being a man has been easier? Because no one has ever been this nice to Velma.
Wait, really? What?
Okay, this is bad. We can still win. Gigi, do you trust me?
No, not at all.
I'm not surprised Gigi has no
Come
respect
on,
for
Norville,
you.
you gotta win this.
No wonder men are so desperate.
I don't want to see...
The easiest shit ever. As a guy, I can do anything.
This reminds me of that Taylor Swift music video. What is it called? If I Was a Man. What is this? What does this say? Resume, I'm awesome. Oh, so all she had to do was walk in with a scribbly note and they got the job. Is it this easy, men? Do you guys have it this easy? So then we cut to freaking...
I don't know, one time I went in for a job, my husband went in for a job interview a few days before me and he got the job. And I went in for the job interview right after him and I impressed the guy and I told him I got half my knowledge from my husband because this was an IT job we were doing. And because of how well I presented myself and also represented my husband, I was honest how I got a lot of my IT information. They said, and I said, oh, my husband just got a job here a week ago, but he's on this project, and they're hiring me for this project over here. And they literally pulled my husband off that project onto my project because they were so impressed by me that they're like, well, if her husband taught her everything she knows, well, we got to have him too, you know? And so I actually got my husband pulled onto the same project as me because, well, I impressed them. And it was all off of me. They never met my husband. They only met me. And they were just impressed, you know.
Velma crapping out some paint in a bucket and everyone just like is so happy and amazed.
Can't they tell if that is a girl?
What? Can I at least get my jade roller and $10,000 for emergencies?
How nice is that to just be able to ask your parents casually for $10,000? That's so nice.
I bet you'd be great at fogging.
What did she say? Did she say fogging? Hold on.
No, Fog King. Fog King.
I bet you'd be great at fogging.
No. The captions say, I bet you'd be great at Fog King.
Yeah, but if you say it fast enough and close enough together, I bet they purposely worded it that way. Because, yeah. I mean, it's HBO. You can probably say it if you want to say it. It's HBO, but
you can hear what Daphne is actually saying. That she is not saying Fog King. Let me play that again.
I bet you'd be great at fogging.
You know what she said. I can't say it, but you know what she said.
We know.
Oh no. So romantic. So sweet.
See, but it's the attitude. Like, if Velma was standing next to her and she fell, Velma would probably laugh and walk away or something. I don't know, but Velma wouldn't care. But Velma is changing her attitude to, okay, I'm a man, I gotta act like this now. But if she acted that caring as Velma, like her friend falls next to her and she catches her, like, does it matter if you're a boy or a girl? You catch your friend, they'll be thankful. But I guess because Velma's a guy, he also gets to catch her in this sexy way.
Honestly, I'm starting to like them together a little bit, just because at least Daphne has come around to being a nicer person. Can't say the same about Velma, but they're not terrible.
I know we just met, but can you keep a secret?
This is just proving how much Daphne never actually opens up to Velma, because Velma's usually too self-absorbed to care or notice. It took Velma being a man for Daphne to finally be able to come out to her.
But unless you're helping her find her dumb mom, she has no time for you.
This Velma kind of sucks.
Yes.
Thank you, Manny.
Yes.
Exactly. What if Daphne were standing next to Velma, and said, I hate that you have no time for me, you're always looking for your mom, Velma would probably spat something back, like something about how important her mom is or something. But because she's got to put herself in this guy's shoes, someone else's shoes, it doesn't matter, guy, woman, she could be going there as a different woman. It doesn't matter. I mean, Velma would never stand next to Daphne and say, yes, I'm sorry, I suck. I'm a bad person for not caring about you and only caring about my mom. Velma would never say that. But because she's got to fake being this other person, I don't think it should matter, man or woman, monster, ghost, whatever, I don't care what she's acting like. She's changing her attitude, and she's purposely thinking and talking differently. Purposely. Something Velma, she's saying stuff Velma would never say.
Yes, it took her having to be a man to admit that Velma sucks. Aww, so cute. I keep going back and forth on this couple. It's only because I don't like Velma. Not the anime eyes. Daphne is definitely giving Velma F me eyes. And Velma's giving her simp eyes. Oh, she is ready to simp. Fred had to cock block them. I was actually ready for them to kiss.
Velma?
Ow!
Velma?
No.
Good on
So
you,
then they
Fred.
cut to
Good
the
on
announcement
you.
ceremony where Fred's parents have to announce Frog King and Frog Queen, and they're clearly not happy about it because they know Fred lost.
You all know who it is.
Wait! Mother! Manny is actually Velma Dinkley in disguise and ineligible to be Fog King.
He can't say ineligible.
He just mumbled. He was like...
Just like everything else these days, the serial killer is whatever you...
Of course, Fred is so dumb he can't even say ineligible. He's gotta mumble it. Because remember, Fred can't be intelligent.
need it to be to feel your best.
This is definitely making fun of, like, woke, sensitive people. Like, this show makes fun of woke a lot.
Who wants to make me Fog King?
If we hadn't just given it to Noble, he rescued a girl who fell off the pier.
What? Narville! He lived so long, he lived to see himself turn into a villain.
All right, who threw the girl off the pier for him to rescue?
Oh no, Norville. Not pushing the little girl into the water to save himself. He's like Cal from Titanic. Oh no. He's gone too far. Now he's like just as awful of a jerk as everyone else. At least at first he was nice.
I need to say you're welcome to my deserving fall queen, Gigi. Are you out there?
It was never about Gigi, girl. I love how she looks though. Honestly, she looks incredible. She has like...
Okay, maybe she mad at the whole let's push the girl off the pier, I'll save her, and then Fog King instantly, and you want to be Fog King so bad, you're going to put a girl in danger in the hopes that you can swim and save her. Great job.
The best fashion outfits out of anyone in this show. No!
There she goes.
Did they get Gigi? No! They just took...
Told you the first person to get angry and storm off. Didn't I say that earlier? Said 2 ways to die. Either go get the soda out of the garage or whatever. Go. Or the first person to get angry, stomp off, and need air to breathe dies. There you go. First person to storm off, get angry, dies.
Look, Gigi in the fog. Well, I guess the fog took her, but we know it was probably the killer hiding in the fog. But what the fuck?
Love the lighting. Sorry, I wanted to tell you I was Manny, but as a guy, there's so little consequence for your actions. I was like, I'd be an idiot not to at least try and go for it. Baba Booey!
You know, I don't totally blame her. Sorry, guys, but I would, if I got to be a guy for a day, I would try all sorts of things.
And I'm mad at myself for being selfish and a bad friend who only makes time for people who can help me find my mom.
Wow! Look at Velma being self-aware and also apologizing.
Are we seeing a character arc coming? Are we seeing some turnarounds?
I'm shocked.
I just feel guilty ever doing anything other than looking for my mom. Can you forgive me?
Daphne shouldn't, but she probably will.
Oh, she will.
Oh, the killer finally shows up. We're on like, what, episode 7? And we finally get the killer. I'm really curious to see where this goes. Oh. Hey, every now and then I keep forgetting that Daphne is a really good fighter.
Gigi? Where are you? That belongs to me.
I love how they're just still fighting each other over who's the true alpha male, because that's what this is really about, not Fog King or the other word. Oh god, they got me. I really thought they were about to like stab Velma. I was like, oh wow, this show finally got metal. This montage of everyone running around is very much reminding me of classic Scooby-Doo. So I
where
really
they all
like
run
this,
through
actually.
Doors back and forth. Yep, this is classic Scooby-Doo.
This kind of stuff is very, very old school classic Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Marvel, stop! Going through doors like this isn't physically possible. Oh god, you're right. My entire perception of reality is crumbling.
Oh my god. Again, I know it's meta humor, but I guess that one broke me. That one made me laugh a little. Sorry, y'all, my dog. I just want everyone to say hi to Prancer, my dog. Sorry, I know this is not part of the episode, but he really, really wanted my attention. Hi, Prancer. Prancer like the reindeer. Now I have to put you back.
Velma, look! An old tiny photo booth! We can disguise ourselves! Daphne, that's stupid! It will take at least 5 minutes to change. Who would ever say I had a costume in the middle of a chase?
I mean, that's what a lot of people do, especially in the old Scooby-Doo series. They would constantly switch out costumes and disguise themselves.
Exactly. If they saw, like, if they were running past, like, say they were in a museum and they were running past some cavemen, one of the Scooby-Doo people would really quickly decide themselves as a caveman and stand there like, yeah, they're making fun of everything classic Scooby-Doo.
So I'm pretty sure that was more meta humor, but at the expense of classic Scooby-Doo, so I don't like it.
And that's a classic Scooby-Doo thing right there. Boom, everybody bumps into each other. Everybody starts running together.
And of course the dude is gone again. Why can't they catch this guy?
Wait, Fred has his phone?
This dumb thing must have gotten swapped with my crown in the fog. No, it's bad. He killed a bunch of girls. But if I don't find the crown right now, I'm gonna have to spend the night in my limo.
Why am I laughing simultaneously as I'm crying? I just feel so bad for Fred. Even though he's being chased by a murderous killer, he's still concerned about what his parents are gonna think if he doesn't bring home the crown. They're gonna make him sleep in the limo. That's so sad.
Has anyone seen Gigi? I'm worried the serial killer got her. Wait, no, there she is, by the exit.
Oh god, she's just standing there all creepy.
No, I bet.
Possessed or something? Why she got like a trench coat and a top
I'm worried
hat?
about
You
what.
ignored me all night trying to win those Fog King crowns.
Very true.
Oh my god, you're right.
Is Norval finally
Okay,
gonna
she didn't
realize
get
that he's
killed.
turning into his own worst enemy? Because I really
So she stormed off, and somehow now she has a change of clothes. She's not dead, but she's got a change of clothes and a change of attitude.
hope he does.
I'm a monster.
That's a bit far.
You're also sweet and amazing and deserve to be treated well.
See, Gigi, she's so understanding. Genuinely, probably the most likable person on this show is Gigi.
And anyone who makes you feel like you need a crown to prove that is the monster Norval.
Fred is definitely about to go dive through that dumpster can.
A crown! Oh,
Yep,
I can
there
go
we go.
home.
Told you, he was definitely about to go searching.
Who's pathetic now, father?
He's like, well, no, father loves me. Poor Fred.
Now that you have the serial killer's cell phone, I know you're gonna catch him and find your mom.
After that, I will focus on only things that you want to do, like complaining.
After that, not before, after.
About girls I thought you were friends with.
So they're both just gonna be really catty to each other. I mean, that's the only way they can talk is just by being two really judgmental, catty people. Again, I think maybe they do deserve each other.
I'd like that, thanks.
That was kind of a cute episode. It had the most Scooby-Doo
Let's hear her final words.
ish elements. Like, I like when they were running away from the guy in the fog, and the door element, and I like some of the visual gags. I thought Daphne looked incredible. But also the stuff with Velma being a man and all that, I didn't like that much. So it's a mixed bag. But let's get to the after credit sequence, which I always leave out.
Oh, after credit sequence.
Damn, girl, how'd you get all that ass in those little slacks?
Fred has the best one-liners. Fred has the best one-liners.
Of course.
They took Fred! They took my boy! They took
Of
Fred!
course.
No! Fred better
But
be okay. I will.
Well, why would he want to kill Fred? He's not a hot girl, so... They're only taking hot girls' brains right now.
Cause hell, okay? I need my boy to be okay. So what did you guys think of this episode? I thought that I really did not like the whole Velma as a man joke for me. That did not win me over. But I did really like some of the action and
I mean, yes, there is some differences between men and women sometimes in the way they speak. Men can come off more authoritative than women. That's why, you know, they usually are the CEOs and stuff, and they usually have the higher positions than women. I mean, the women that get those positions as CEO and stuff, they do have to get that little bit of an authoritative attitude. They do have to take on some traits that a man would. I mean, I grew up in a life of, hey, Rose, if you want to play with the boys, you can't cry. If you cry, you're gone. And so, like, one day we were playing soccer, and they let us know at the beginning of the game, you know, you get hurt and you cry, you're out of the game. You have to be, you know, tough as men. And, oh man, I got hit really hard in the middle of the game. I got hit so hard, I had to step out of the game for a second. And they're like, you cry, you're gone. And so I had to sit there and breathe and hold in every tear that wanted to come out, because they let me take time to breathe. That was fine. That's, I guess, okay with the men. But if one tear rolled out, I was gone. And so I managed to not cry and stay in the game. I mean, that's just one of many incidents that happened to me when I was growing up, of playing with boys, living in a man's world, was, don't cry, Rose. Don't cry. You're gonna get kicked out. Guys, don't cry. Be tough.
and Scooby-Doo-ish gags that we got in this episode. This one, to me, this episode...
Oh yeah, and my brother one time told me that only guys hurt if they get kicked down there. And I was laying down and he grabbed my legs and spread my legs and stomped his foot right down on me, right down on my pelvic bone. Told me I wasn't allowed to cry because only men hurt. Yeah. That hurt really bad, by the way. You know how bad it hurts when you get your pelvic bone hit? Crushed. It hurts, by the way.
Episode felt the most like Scooby-Doo than any of the...
I mean, I bet yes, because men have a little extra. It does hurt, but it does hurt women too, okay? We got a pelvic bone there, and we don't really have much to cushion that bone. So we get kicked, we're getting kicked straight in a bone.
The other episodes. So I do like that we're really focusing on the mystery and the gang are like actually interacting a lot more now as a group. But what did you guys think of this episode? Please let me know down in the comments. And
oh my gosh, yeah, like, I don't know if, let's see. I don't know if we have time or if you want to take time to see if, has Desparu come out with episode 11 yet? Or 7. But why did I say 11?
Are you doing okay?
Okay, let's just type in episode Velma, just episode 7. Introduce the mystery machine. So, has 8 come out yet? Because some people have episode 7 and 8. The Velma Show episode 8 review.
Oh!
Episode 7. Okay, because, yeah, I guess we'll have to... Let me know if you guys want me to also go over when Desparu brings out his episode 7. He's very interesting when he brings out his, But it looks like he doesn't have episode 7 out yet.
Who is this?
See, he's got episode 6 out.
X-ray.
Not... Ooh, should we watch his SheHulk episode? I never saw this one.
SheHulk Episode 1 review, Hulk Trash. Now this show is meant to be a comedy, and yet finding someone in the world that actually laughed at it would be like a more complicated version of Where's Wally. Now we start with potential thumbnail number 1, and SheHulk is a lawyer, and this is her practicing her closing statements to the jury. Before the show release, the writers did say that none of them were actually adept at writing a good trial scene, and I have to say,
none of them read comics. None of them know anything about writing trial scenes. You know, this is the hard thing. If I go into a job interview, IT, whatever, and I go in there and I know nothing about IT, why do I expect them to hire me? If I'm like, no, I don't know anything about computers. I've never used a computer in my life before. But, hey, well, actually, sometimes some call centers in Utah still hire you. But, so I don't even know why I'm using that as an analogy. Because in the real world, you make a resume showing your skill set. Like, okay, like right now, my chosen profession,
This is how you open up a toe clipping.
I can't walk in and say, hey, I want to be a counselor. No, I don't have my master's degree. But, you know, mostly they're going to be like, oh, go get your master's. You got to have that master's and that doctorate. It can't just walk in and be like,
The same way, but back.
well, I know this much. Hire me. Because I need to get my master's before I don't know. I think some people do get hired off their bachelor's.
After witnessing this speech, I believe them. Now, the speech is essentially with great power comes great responsibility, and she's trying to prosecute someone who didn't use their power to help humanity. Now, the issue is this scene is at the start of the episode, but the end of the
Oh, so yeah, where I was going with this, I don't get how you can say I never read a comic book. I don't know anything about trials. I've never been in a trial. I've never seen a trial. Have you? Oh, you've watched Ally McBeal? Okay, good. You got the job.
Timeline for the episode. So she's talking about how you have to use the power for good, while also already knowing that she's not going to. In 8 minutes, she's going to try and kill a guy, and no one's...
You know what, they should have took... I mean, if Disney was smart, they would have took the writers from Daredevil, Netflix Daredevil, put them on SheHulk, because they do trial, they do superheroes, and Daredevil's in this one. So they should have took the... I don't get sometimes how writers get jobs in Disney.
It's going to say an...
Maybe I could go get a job as a writer in Disney. I should go try. Maybe I can. I've never written a play before, and I've acted in a play before. Maybe that qualifies me. I've acted in a play before. So if I've acted in a play before, can I go get a job writing for Disney?
Anything about it, and that's because she's absolutely amazing, and you don't have to take my word for it.
That's not the case.
More smiles. I don't know if you heard that, the man telling her to smile. Oh, you are so original, I've never heard that before. Captain Marvel mugged a guy and broke his hand for doing that. What are you gonna do? This guy's probably lucky to get out alive.
Show them that they will be held accountable, because those with the most power have the most to answer for.
Worth bearing in mind for the horrific stuff she's about to do.
I mean, I thought She-Hulk was gonna be a good show, because I don't know what he's really saying about this intro speech, but I liked her intro speech. I did. It kind of gave me hopes for the show. And then when she turns around and breaks the fourth wall, I loved that even more. I was like, okay, here we go. We got She-Hulk breaking the fourth wall. We got her giving good speeches. This is, so far, actually, the first 5 minutes of She-Hulk kind of tricked me into thinking this was going to be a great show.
Won't be held accountable. 90 seconds into the show, we found out the main character is an unfunny hypocrite. Let's see what we can add to the list. But if you want one moment that will summarize the rest of the show, this is it.
And you win the case, and you are not helpful here at all.
Because obviously, he is just a man. Your dangly bits aren't welcome here. This isn't a hookup site.
Feel like this is gonna land better coming from me.
We're only just starting, but we do have to set up that every man in the entire world is evil, because there's a payoff later on. It's her superpower. No, I'm not even joking. Resting face like a slapped arse.
Only because it's a conflict of interest, not because I condone murder.
She does actually condone murder, as we're about to see at minute 8.
You're gonna listen to a paralegal over another lawyer?
We should definitely ignore that guy's advice simply because he's got dangly bits, even though he's far more qualified than the person we're taking the advice off. She doesn't have dangly bits, and that makes up for all of the life experience in the world. Because there's no greater power than sisterhood. Well, there's a few tropes of modern entertainment. Everyone without dangly bits is amazing. Everyone with them is evil, horrible, and must be humiliated. And of course, the main character must be told how amazing they are by every single person they meet. And this show is about to speedrun all of them. We're less than 2 minutes into the show when we get this.
That was so good. It was so good.
That was so good. You're so good. You're so amazing. You are absolutely amazing. No one's been a better lawyer than you.
Now you just have to top it off with a savage Jen Walters look.
What's a savage Jen Walters look, I hear you ask?
What?
Through the magic of editing, we can take another look at that savage Jen Waters look. I am shaking in my boots. Potential thumbnail
That's
number 2.
not a savage
looks
look.
like she's doing an impression of Elvis Presley when you think about it. And if you want confirmation.
There it is. Now it's perfect.
Yeah, that is
There we
perfect.
go.
Savage. Just in case you weren't sure how amazing she is.
There is a reason why you were handpicked, okay? The leveling up is happening.
Just a good job you weren't born with XY chromosomes, because then you would have been an idiot. But now, you're just amazing.
My little baby genius is gonna be a district attorney one day.
She's an actual baby genius. That's the show's words, a baby genius. But then she says on the off chance it doesn't work, you know, because that face definitely would have convinced anybody, it's a sure thing. You can always just Hulk out and freak them out, because it's really important that everyone knows that she's the She-Hulk. No one would have got that from the title of the show. But then they go to the trial and She-Hulk decides to come back into the room just to ruin the entire experience. I've got to say, this is a part I don't like, because she tells a friend to go ahead and pops back into the room specifically to break the fourth wall and condescend.
I thought the breaking the fourth wall. I have a different opinion than him. I thought that. I mean, She-Hulk breaks the fourth wall all the time in the comic book. She breaks the fourth wall worse than what's his name? Deadpool. I mean, I think the breaking the fourth wall is the only best part of this show. I actually love every moment she breaks the fourth wall.
Tendingly femsplained to the audience.
Yeah, about that. It's true. I am a Hulk.
Literally no one would have gathered that from the name of the show.
Well, the thing is what she's doing right here is she's letting us know she's already the Hulk. Now let's go back and see how she became the Hulk. Because right now when she's giving the speech, you don't know if she's going to leave the office and then something's going to happen and then she gets shot or something. Because in the comic book, she gets shot right outside her work. Is she going to walk outside, get shot, blah, 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 and then become the She-Hulk? But right now, she's letting us know, nope, that already happened. I'm going to go ahead and tell you about it.
Oh, it's a big mystery who it's going to be. I hope it's Mark Ruffalo.
Guessing you're not going to be able to focus on this fun lawyer show until you know all about that.
Look, I'm no psychic that can see into the future, but I have a feeling that no one will be able to focus on this fun lawyer show at all. In fact, I have an idea.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I like what she's saying here because she's telling us, okay, I know now that you know that I'm a Hulk, you're curious how I got it. Yeah, we all are. We want your origin story. Give it to us. That's why we're watching this, and that's what the first episode's always all about. Where's your origin? Just give it to us.
Idea that no one will describe it as a fun lawyer show.
Let me get you up to speed.
Thanks, darling. But we flash back to when she became She-Hulk and the scene from the trailer, which I'm sure a lot of people have seen. She's out here talking to Bruce Banner, who's the Hulk, and she's laughing about how she thinks that Captain America hasn't slept with anybody, unlike her, who's been with the population of a small country.
I'm not one of the women that discuss Captain America and how busy he got. Apparently, they put this in the show because a lot of women were. But I wasn't one of those women.
According to the trailer, is one of the themes of the show. All I'm saying is I think Captain America wins this round. She also invents eating Cheetos with chopsticks, so you don't get dust on your fingers like that's a major...
I heard that the other dude, the Moon Knight guy did it. That actor did it. She's just reminding us, oh yes, by the way, you can eat Cheetos with chopsticks, by the way.
Your problem or something. Although if they'd shared this with Galadriel and Rings of Power, a lot of trouble could have been avoided. But if you want to see how She-Hulk is pandered to through this entire episode, well, here's another example.
That's really smart.
That's really smart. Oh, you're a genius. You managed to remove a minor inconvenience that
They can't just show us that she's smart. They have to tell us so we know.
Actually, no one has cared about.
We can't just see her do something really smart and be like, wow, that was a smart move. We have to be told she's smart, and then she doesn't do anything to prove it.
Before, oh, you're so smart. Especially when compared to Bruce Banner.
You're not the only genius in the family.
Or if you look at
oh my gosh, she's nowhere near the genius that Bruce Banner is. So don't even compare yourself to...
Oh my gosh.
Just because you know the law really well, doesn't make you a genius. I mean, it makes you smart, but it doesn't make you a genius. I mean, he created Ultron. Come on.
To feed the only...
Bruce Banner should turn around and be like, oh yeah? Well, I created Ultron. What'd you create? You know? Just turn around and be like, what'd you do? I did Ultron.
Person who's insufferable. But we get a massive monologue about a theory, and she's so busy gossiping that she's not even paying attention to the road. What are we going to get in episode 2? Her trying to reverse park. But she's so busy waffling on trash about somebody else's private life that she doesn't see a massive spaceship in the middle of the road. Which is understandable, because it's really easy to miss. The thing is, I'm pretty sure that car could drive underneath that spaceship, but instead we get this.
I bet you if she drove underneath it, the spaceship would have pulled up. I guarantee it. They didn't have to roll off the side of the road.
I guess they put reverse parking in episode 1 after all. But the Hulk has a suppression mechanism on his arm, so he can't Hulk out. Seems a bit stupid not to have some kind of built-in safety mechanism in case your car gets driven off the road by a lunatic. I mean, the one driving it, not the spaceship. But despite this, she's still the one who's perfectly uninjured, gets out first, and manages to climb out the car before Hulk has even recovered. So she climbs...
Yeah, this is part that I agree with is... She gets a little bit of blood on top of a cut. So she has a really bad cut right here. But how does the blood even seep in and mix? I mean, you tell me.
Managing to keep her high heels on. Oh no, she's got a boo-boo. Now at some point her high heels came off. I don't know when that happened because they were clearly on in the picture seconds ago. Yeah, it's no Starbucks cup, but they're the one who zoomed in on it. Obviously Bruce Banner's in big trouble because he's just a weak and feeble human, despite him being the Hulk. But you know, XY, there's just a huge detriment that we've all got to cope with in life. Honestly, it's surprising I've made it this far. Now at this point, she's still a human, so I really don't know how she manages to just pull the door open.
Yeah.
She literally just forces it open. Seriously, your car must be the easiest to nick in the world. But my favourite part in all Hollywood movies is where they just release the seatbelt and the person that they think is injured and dying in the car seat just smashes their head onto the ground. It's nice to know she cares so much about his health. Yeah, that's gonna sting. Now, she pulls him out of the car and across the ground, despite the fact she's like a third of his weight and about 4'2". Obviously, those aren't accurate statistics. I don't even know if I can find them out online. Look, I know it's supposed to be rude to ask a type B her weight, but if you Google it, apparently it's all right there. Who knew? Now, obviously, there's no scene of her actually dragging him across the ground.
I didn't see how tall she is.
Apparently,
Hold on.
it's all right there.
She's as tall as me. So she's as tall as me, and wow, okay, so I'm basically her size. So we have the same height and weight.
Who knew? Now, obviously, there's no scene of her actually dragging him across the ground because that would be physically
so
impossible
I know
and
exactly
require a
how
lot
big
of wire
she
work.
is.
So
well, it depends. Does she have my muscle structure? Because I have like 0 muscles. So if that was me, Bruce would be stuck in the car. I'm sorry. Hulk out and just bust out of the car. Because that's the only way you're getting out if you can't get out on your own. Because, well, I don't have... You can't... Even though she's my same height and weight, we can't compare our strengths because I don't know if she has muscle build on her or not. I was born very, very weak without... I mean, you could see my bones. Like, you can see my bones, you can see that there's no muscle on them. There's just fat. That's it.
Instead, they just kind of teleport and she hugs him to the floor. He starts dripping on her, and within literal seconds, it's all in her veins and she's She-Hulk, and that's how that works. Gone are the days where she's in trouble and he...
Like, he barely dripped on her. He barely did. Like, a couple drops.
Saves her voluntarily with a blood transfusion, because that would mean that Bruce Banner as the Hulk was actually a good person. And one thing we can't have at Marvel is a Type B getting her power from a Type A. So instead, she's got to physically save him and then get it accidentally in seconds before he has time to do anything and save her from it. And considering that a core part of her story in this episode is that every single man in the entire universe is completely evil, and all they have ever done her entire life is make her suffer, then it does make sense why they had to change that storyline. Because if he had saved her, that would destroy her entire arc. And I say arc, it's more like a picture, because I have a feeling it's static and never moves. Either way, she hulks out in the door of the car, which was probably done to save on budget for CGI, and she starts sprinting off into the forest. Next thing, she just wakes up on a pavement. Has she wiped out an entire city, killed a load of people? It's never talked about, we'll never find out. Instead, she decides to crawl on all fours up a hill, don't know why, before she finds a sports bar and decides to go into it looking like some kind of weird lunatic. And I know she uses apps to find people later on in the series, but let's face it, even if she walked in looking like that, somebody would. So she goes in through the back door, again, something I thought they'd leave till a later episode, and decides to enter the bathroom. And remember, this is the most important scene that was thought to be kept in by one of the writers. This is literally the most important scene of episode 1. That scene was so important to me. This is the single most important scene in the entire episode. Oh, this ought to be good. So she walks into one of the least kept bathrooms in the entire Americas. And admittedly, she looks rough, but that just fits in with the rest of the decor. She starts to clean herself up, obviously, clothes first. Who cares about her face? And in come the 2022 version of the Spice Girls. Immediately stunned, oh, what happened to you? What happened to you? We need to help. Most important scene of the entire episode. They immediately assume a guy's done it, even though this was all her. If she could have kept her gob closed for 2 seconds on the road, none of this would have happened. And they start, like, doing her hair. They give her a new pair of shoes. No idea why anyone's carrying around a second pair of shoes.
It's like they got an extra
for the
coat,
walk of shame home
shoes.
tomorrow. Then they start putting makeup on her. She's still got filth just caked all over her face. But instead, all they've done is cover up and then decided to cover her face. Shall I put your head under the tap? No, it's alright, love. I've got some foundation. I've not showered since 1973. This foundation, it's like 7 foot thick on my...
I mean, if you've ever been in a girl's bathroom, this is somewhat true of women helping women. It's just... I don't know. It gets... so much flack. And... there's a couple scenes in here that get so much flack that I think they could have done them a little better so that they didn't get so much flack.
My face, I just keep covering it up ever further. Hit my face with a sledgehammer, you'll never hit the skin, love, it's fine. And she's like, oh, you don't need to put makeup on me. Oh, yes, we do. No, you need to give her a wash, you dirty cow. Then they use hairspray on her. They've not done anything to her hair. They are now fixing her hair in the same state it was when she climbed out of a bush. Again, I didn't think she'd be looking into a bush until later in the series. But she has to borrow someone's phone, and obviously everyone's really helpful. All the women are really helpful giving her a phone immediately. And this is immediately contrasted with the next scene, because everyone in the next scene is a type A, and that means they're nothing but evil little twerps. So she's outside, minding her own business, and I'm just really getting Captain Marvel vibes here. But obviously 3 men walk outside, and they just can't leave.
Yeah, this is also gets a little bit of flack. Now, okay, if I keep thinking, like, if I was in this scene, it is a tiny bit creepy how they call to her. It's a tiny bit creepy.
Alone. The only thing that surprised me about this scene is it's a very varied group of people. The show wants you to know that every man is evil. Without exception. So he's like, what's up? How you doing, love? How you doing? They're like, you waiting for anyone? She's waiting for a ride. Oh, what's your name? They're just not gonna leave her alone.
I mean, I probably would have talked to him, maybe may or not looked at him. I mean, the way they were... It kind of was creepily predatory a little bit, the way they were approaching her. All 3 of them kind of flanking each other, kind of being like, all right, hey, baby. You know, and she's not in the mood to be hit on right now. She doesn't exactly know what's going on. She knows that something happened at the car. She knows she doesn't know where she's at. She's just woken up. She's had a bunch of girls pile on top of her and cover up some of the damage done. And now you're standing out in front of a bar waiting for your cousin to come, who says he'll be there in a second. And these 3 guys, they're not even showing how they approached her so I could talk about it. It's to show you where the creeping... For me, the creepiness would come in.
Alone, they're not going to take no for an answer. We can all see where this is going. So she decides to walk off and claim that, oh yeah, there's just somebody I know over...
But yeah, when a guy tells you, I'm not going to take no for an answer, why would you stick around? That's already bad sign number 1. I mean, okay, I don't know if any guys would actually say that in real life or not. But this is how they are written, so maybe it's bad on the writers, I don't know. Because if some guy said that to me, I don't take no for an answer. I know how that feels when somebody says, well, I'm not going to take no for an answer. So you're either got to get the strength enough to walk away, or you give in and say yes.
over there. And obviously, they decide to follow her into the car park. This happens all of the time. But obviously, if someone said, hi, how are you doing and are you okay? There's really only one response you can actually give in normal life as a sane human being. You should immediately just Hulk out, scream at them like you're right for Cosmopolitan, and then go to sucker punch one of them as the Hulk in the face. She was going to murder one of these people for literally no reason whatsoever, and we are never going to discuss that for the rest of the entire episode.
A guy who says I don't take no for an answer, I mean, no, he doesn't deserve to be injured, but, I mean, they're forgetting that you gotta go with what the writers wrote. Okay, if I was in this situation, and the guys were kind of creepily coming upon me, and if I decided to ultimately be like, no, I'm not in the mood for this, and he says I don't take no for an answer.
The fact that she was going to kill a guy for doing absolutely nothing except going, hi, how are you? How you doing? Luckily, there's another shape you can see flying in from the right-hand side as Hulk comes along and tackles her and stops her brutally killing 3 different guys. Now, at this point, given what we know about the Hulk, you're thinking, nah, well, she's out of control. She couldn't control herself. It's all fine. Turns out, she could control herself at this point.
Yeah, see, that's why this next scene sucks. Because obviously, she couldn't control her anger. Obviously, the first time she hulked out was out of panic. Second time was a different kind of panic, but she panicked again. So we got a panic problem here. She panics, she hulks out.
She was in complete control. She just wanted to annihilate that guy in the face for doing absolutely nothing to her. Bearing in mind, the speech we saw at the start of the episode is done after this moment. And she go, oh, with great power comes great responsibility. You have a duty to look after everybody else. Knowing full well that she will...
Well, okay, so she's being hypocritical and going against her words, because this is the first time she's hulking out. She is way out of control because... Bruce... She doesn't want to admit it, but Bruce does help her gain that control that she gains in the next scene. She doesn't want to admit it, but it's through Bruce's help.
Slaughter an entire pub just because someone goes, hi, how you doing? But remember, she's amazing.
My little baby genius.
That's really smart.
You're not the only genius in the family.
Either way, she wakes up with a background that'd make a TikToker proud. And I do like that Bruce Banner's taken her to his house. Still can't be bothered to clean her up. She changes clothes, starts looking around the house. Doesn't seem particularly scared, despite the fact that as far as she knows, she's been kidnapped. Especially when she wakes up in a different country. She finds an Iron Man mask, not sure that's going to really calm her down, and decides that the only sane thing to do is obviously descend into a concrete basement. Look, I think I've seen this movie. If there's a black phone down there, run. But either way, on her way down, she finds Bruce Banner in Hulk form, and let the humiliation commence.
Good morning.
You're Hulk again.
Yeah, you're a smart one. We've gone from you're not the only genius to the family of, oh, look, you're big and green. Glad you told the audience. No one would have caught on.
Smart old.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't come up with it. You never have a choice with these names.
Yeah, obviously Hulk's got to be embarrassed by his own name. That way we can use it to humiliate him later on. The show does actually have a lot of setup and payoff. It's just all of them are very derogatory insults towards guys. Oh, this show's not made for you. Who's it made for then? Depressed, bitter, middle-aged, childless women in their 30s who think that succeeding in life is just mindless hookups on your phone. Oh. Yeah, I guess it's not made for me. But she finds out they're in Mexico, and this is where he's actually decided to come to terms with him being the Hulk and invented the Smart Hulk, which is like the merger between...
Well, I like that, okay, don't get down on that we get a backstory of what happened during those 5 years, because all of a sudden it says 5 years later, and then you see this Smart Hulk there, and you're like, well, how did that happen? And all he says is a gamma lab. And now we get this backstory of Tony helped him build it. That's how he got it, because that's a lot of expensive equipment in there. And that Tony, during those 5 years, not only did he do something for himself, for him and Pepper and their soon-to-be child, but he took some time out. You got to think, okay, Tony's this really great guy.
In the two of them. It took him years to do this. He's really struggled throughout his entire life. But her, no, she's amazing.
Where are we?
Mexico.
In this tiny beach house lab.
Yeah. Tony built it for me a few years ago. He used to joke that it was a loan and that one day he'd just swing by and take it back.
You see, Bruce Banner's a failure. He's achieved at nothing. He doesn't even have property of his own. Even his own lab isn't his. Oh.
Well, it's more of... Okay, Tony's dead now. He has no chance of getting the lab taken away. He's like, oh, Tony could take away this lab, but Tony's not around anymore. It's more of a... Or she'd look at it as it's more of a tribute to Tony, okay?
Almost every second of this episode is purely designed to humiliate the poor chap. But he explains to her that his blood got into her, and she got a lethal dose of gamma radiation, and she starts freaking out.
Lethal? As in I'm gonna die?
None of us are that lucky, love. At least that would prevent the next 8 episodes.
That is not the sentence to take a pause on!
Yeah, we should definitely go around slapping Hulk. That's a great idea.
I probably gotta skip to another game soon, so I want to skip to a scene I want to smallly talk about.
But he tells her that she's just like him, and they share a rare combination of genetic factors which allow them to...
But of course, she's got something else in her genes that make her better than Hulk. It's like, oh, you got this extra thing in your genes.
Process gamma radiation and turn it into whatever turns them into the Hulk. At this point, I have to ask, if he knows it's genetic, why didn't he test his relatives for the genes in the first place? Considering Hulks can literally destroy planets, you'd kind of want to make sure they were safe. But nah, as a genius, I'm sure it just never crossed his mind.
So I turn into a Hulk now, too.
But not just any Hulk, because we've got to remember, you have the power of fallopian tubes. I had something to say here, but I paused on this frame, and it's gone completely out of my mind. All I'm going to say, potential thumbnail number 3. Again, didn't expect to see this face until...
Don't ever pause on famous people.
Later in the series.
I have been analyzing your blood. I was able to use it to heal my arm.
Even though we have the same genetic traits, somehow...
So there we go. That's how Bruce got healed and everything, because she's got this amazing extra gene. You can see it back there. I'm guessing hers is the red line. She's got this extra gene in there that heals.
How I looked at your DNA and used it to heal my arm. It makes sense. Trust me, don't think about it. It'll give you a headache. Sure, will probably do that as it is. But it does get worse with her response.
Oh, because I'm better than you?
I don't know how we come to that conclusion. I looked at your...
She's just way too competitive of a person. I mean, she's different. Not better. Different.
DNA and healed my arm. Oh, that must mean I'm better than you.
This is basically different.
In a better way.
Have you not seen my fallopian tubes? I'm a goddess. Once again, Marvel have managed to make a show where we know the message they're trying to get across, but they seem to actually be writing something entirely different than they're intending. You're supposed to think she's so amazing because she said how amazing she is. She's just so...
Hey, you know what? At least Bruce Banner or Smart Hulk or whatever you want to call him is the one person in the show that does... Okay, at first he does call her amazing and smart. But this is where he kind of changes his mind about who she really is.
So strong and powerful! When really, she just comes across as completely and utterly insufferable. At this point, he has 2 decisions. Should I train her or yeet her into the moon? Unfortunately, he makes the wrong one.
In conclusion, my arm is healed and now I'm able to be my fully integrated self.
You had to say that in case you didn't understand him spelling it out.
Yeah, in conclusion, you're different than me. You have something that helped me heal. Get over it.
Before with, I fixed my arm.
Smug Hulk.
Smug? She just called him smug! You literally come out and say how much better you are than Hulk, and he didn't call you an arrogant, egotistical little cow, did he? Nor did I. Just said he didn't. He should have done, but he didn't. Look, when I say it, I'm just stating facts, but when you say it, you're just reinforcing harmful stereotypes. It's pretty smug to say you're better than someone else, even though you only became a Hulk 3 minutes ago. And the first thing you tried to do was slaughter an entire bar when you were in complete control of your own actions. He's smug, you're evil. Which one would you rather be?
Well, it's pretty smug to call yourself smart.
I didn't come up with it.
He just told her like 5 minutes ago you don't have a choice in these names. Did she not listen to a single word Bruce said?
You use it. Implied endorsement.
That's literally not how that works. But after analysing her own blood samples, he thinks they're so dangerous they must be vaporized. And so he uses about 1 million lasers to do it.
Does she not know her cousin and why he's called Smart Hulk? Because when he turns into Hulk, he's all anger, no brains.
If it's that dangerous that someone could actually be...
And he explained, I put the brains and the brawn together. Now I'm Smart Hulk, so I still Hulk with the brawn, but I have the brains of Bruce Banner.
Become one of you, and you know it's genetics which make you a Hulk in the first place. Why didn't you go and test your relatives for the genetics required to actually make a Hulk? This could be an apocalyptic causing moment. Yeah, but I'm not going to look into that until something horrible happens.
Bit dramatic.
Even when you're trying to be dramatic, you make him look like an idiot. But she starts saying she wants to be cured. She wants to go back to human, and he tries to let her down gently by essentially, this isn't going away. You're going to have to learn how to be a Hulk, and it's going to take you a very long time. It took me 15 years. Of course, then we get this. She's like, oh, what's happening? Is she panic attack? Is she going to turn into the Hulk? No.
Boy. Jen, what is it? What do you need?
She needed pancakes. Seriously, I think this is meant to be the comedy part. At this rate, it's going to be lucky if anyone laughs by the end of the series.
You feeling better?
Because when you found out you're going to turn into the Hulk, eating some pancakes is going to make you feel better. The writers think this is relatable. I would say this is one of the stereotypes where you're just taking the piss. But Hulk is still trying to talk to her like she's a normal, reasonable human being and not a deranged lunatic. It's like, look, your life's going to have to change. You're a Hulk now. Things will find you. You're going to have to accept that via my experience, I know what your life is going to be like. You can't just be a lawyer where you rage out and start wiping out entire cities like I did. You're like, you can stay here, I'll train you, I'll help you, I'll give you the benefit of my wisdom and experience. But of course she knows better than that. She's not going to need any of that kind of stuff. She's just perfect and amazing. He's had hardship, challenges and struggle, and she's got a womb. I can't stay for 15 years, I've got insane. But she does have an interesting way of coping with the news. How very ladylike. So Bruce hooks her up to a machine that makes her look like she's going to get transported into the emotional states.
Like the baseline of any...
Can actually control it in the future.
The triggers are anger and fear.
Those are like the baseline of any woman just existing.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree, but I'm surprised you put it in the show. But instead, blades appear behind her in the wall and start closing in on her. And I'm like, yes, if only this works, we can get rid of everything in episode 1. She's petrified and freaking out, and I'm here celebrating and cheering.
If I don't transform, I'm gonna die. You have a plan B for that?
No. Good lad. She's like stuck on the wall, it's closing in on her, and everything's looking up. Until that happens. She smashes the wall into the other wall, picks up the door, throws it across the room at him, and she doesn't know that he can survive that. Just starts destroying.
And she says she doesn't have an anger problem. She's like, I don't have an anger problem. It's like, then what's going on right now? This looks like a very adult tantrum.
The entire place while screeching like a banshee. And at this point, you're still thinking, oh, she's just freaking out, she's lost control, but no.
Why are you talking to me like I'm a stray horse?
Jen?
Yeah?
You're still Jen?
Yeah?
Turns out she's in complete control all the time because she's just that amazing. And that means everything she's done it to this point, she chose to do. She chose to smash the wall into the side. She chose to destroy...
Because she has anger issues that she doesn't want to admit up to.
His entire laboratory, and she chose to try and annihilate that guy in the face with her full force. As a lawyer, she should know that was attempted murder. The rest of this legal drama should be her in the dock getting tried for attempted murder and then going to prison. But of course, it's not like she's going to have to face any consequences for her actions because we can't show that. So
she
Bruce
never
is just
does.
amazed that she can control herself, considering the 15 years of struggle that he had to go through in order to control it. But obviously we can't have that. She's just got to be amazing from the start. Struggle, challenge, character arc, no. Just skip to the end, folks. Skip to the end. If there's one thing we could summarize her life as, it's Easy Street, where everything gets delivered to her on a silver platter. I'm going to talk about how I've been held down by the patriarchy. Will simultaneously show that I've had no struggle throughout my entire life. It's kind of like the writers don't even understand what challenge is. But not only is she in control, she's also herself. No alter ego here, it's just her in a big green body.
Think I'm jealous, is that what I'm feeling?
That's right, she's just better than Hulk in every way, and that means he's jealous. But you know, he's had 15 years of experience as a Hulk, he should at least have something to teach her, right? right?
That's about $1 million worth of damage back there.
I'm sorry, you don't expect her to care about that, do you? She cares about literally no one but herself. Self-centered, arrogant, egotistical little... No, I'm not saying... I couldn't possibly imagine who I'm talking about. But she says, no, it's just me. You know, first time it happened, it was so intense I couldn't remember what was happening. But everything that's happened to this point was in her control. You know, like when she pulled Bruce Banner out of the car and then left him to die next to a car himself. He was injured, bleeding, and she left him there. All of that was in her control. She just couldn't remember it afterwards. It's understandable, though. He is just a bloke.
She does have anger issues, and she does panic, but she doesn't want to realize that because she just wants to believe she's amazing and get on with her life.
Matters if anything happened to him. But he's like, oh, well, if you don't have an alter ego, we can just skip all this. Of course, I do have the rest of this ring binder to teach you. Surely he can teach us something from it.
Yeah, kind of seems like I'm done here.
Have you
go
not
make some more pancakes.
I'm just perfect in every single way.
Go make some
You've
more.
got nothing to teach
Wesley,
me.
you want to
Your
go make
centre
more
of balance is
pancakes?
a lot more forward than mine. You should know better
Go
than
make
to
some
try
more
and
pancakes.
educate a lady. But he's like, not so fast. You still can't control when you can transform, so there's at least some work to do there. So she asks him how he normally transforms back. He's like, well, normally, you know, I get knocked out, I fall out of a jet, a tank hits me in the face, and I'm like, actually, these are all sounding like really great options. Let's try them out, see what works.
Bruce
Although when she
Banner's
finds out
very
he's trapped as
calm.
Hulk for 2 years, she kind of freaks out a bit and storms off.
Person,
I
he
can't
doesn't
stay like
panic.
this for 2 years. There's too many people to swipe right on.
You have so much more to learn about being a Hulk.
Have you learned that there's literally nothing you can teach her because she already knows all of it? I mean, spoiler, but that's literally the plot. And he tries to appeal to a better nature, which I'm not sure she has. I mean, not considered how dangerous you are, the kind of damage you can cause, the things you can do. You need to control this. You need to control yourself or other people will get hurt. Of course, she doesn't care about other people. That would be insane. That's why her response is this.
Okay, I'll be careful.
Oh, screaming at him. Yeah, I'll just be careful, right? I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll just be careful. It's amazing.
Just like a little child would. Okay, I'll do it. She's like a child, and Bruce is like her parent. Bruce is telling her, look, you need to do better. I need to train you. And she's like, okay. Just saying, she's still having a little tantrum right now. Whatever will get him to shut up. She's going to agree or whatever. My dad does this with me all the time because now I'm his parent. And it's very childish thing to do. Okay, whatever. I'll say whatever just to get you to shut up. Just stop bothering me. I want to go upstairs and put on my headphones and listen to music.
Listen, like, I don't know who would write a character like this. Like, if you think that this is normal and reasonable behavior, I don't know what you do with your life. But finally, he decides to lay down the law. It's like, look, I know better than you. I know more than you. This isn't just rage. Even normal anger will mean that everybody else suffers. And you have a duty to put in the work to control yourself. It's like one of the few good messages of the entire show. Of course, she responds.
I mean, somehow she may have gotten through law school, and she's knowledgeable, but mentally, psychologically, for some reason, and when you do get a look at her parents, you may kind of understand why she's still in this childish state. Why she handles everything in such a childish manner.
Onto it like a petulant.
Because her dad's kind of this goofball that I'm sure she's always just like, okay, dad, whatever, you know. And she's embarrassed by her dad and his behavior. And so this has kind of kept her in a childish state her whole life.
Child's like, fine, I'll...
And she gave that speech in front of those two lawyers, the paralegal and the lawyer, because she needs constant affirmation. She doesn't have very much self-esteem and self-worth. She's got to have that affirmation that, yes, I am wonderful, I am smart, great, I'm perfect, I can do this. She just isn't confident in her lawyer skills, saying, okay, I can write this closing argument, no problem, and just write it and then do it. She's got to be like, I gotta have somebody tell me that my speech is, I gotta practice this, I gotta go a practice run and play like you're the jury. Would you agree with me? And they're saying that she would get
I'll do it then if I have to.
I'm not just saying that, she says it like a 5-year-old.
Fine. Teach me how to Hulk, please.
So we cut to a training montage, and I use that in the...
Like I said, she's saying whatever she needs to get Hulk to shut up. And this is the scene I wanted to talk
loosest
about.
possible sense, considering that everything he teaches her, she's already perfect at.
It allows us to hold two opposing truths at the same time.
I mean, call me crazy, but I'm not sure there's such a thing as two opposing truths. If you can hold two contradictory ideas in your head at the same time, you're generally just a moron who doesn't understand what they're doing. But it's like, we need to get you to control your emotions, so we're going to get you to control your mind, get you to relax. We're going to do some yoga, help you become self-aware. I don't think she's ever been self-aware in her life, but we'll see.
Relax your neck, hold in your farts. Namaste.
Seriously, with an attitude...
I don't like how she does these little poke funs at him. This is something that I would have done between the ages of like 14 and 16. Me and my friends would have done this. And we did do this. Like, when I was like 14, I think I loved line dancing. I did. But I was with my friends. And so we made fun of it because I did it because it was what was cool to do. Like, I wish, I look back at some points in my life like that and wish that I had just stood up for myself and said, look, I like line dancing. I'm going to go do it because I like it. If you want to make fun of it, go ahead and have that childish attitude. Make fun of it. Don't join in. I mean, the person that doesn't join in, that's acting stupid. And once when I was like, I don't know, 21, 22, I did it again just because I felt insecure. And we went out dancing with my husband's brother, and I didn't know the dance, and I felt insecure, so I made fun of it instead and almost kicked my brother-in-law. Oops.
Like that, it's amazing she's single.
It's more about presence.
I thought it was about getting my butt tight as hell.
I think those days are long gone. But Hulk realizes that she's a complete and utter moron and says that she's not even ready for yoga. Seriously, if you can't handle stretching, I'm not sure what door number B is. But he says, look, you go to sleep and we'll start again in the morning. And at this point, I don't know whether it's bad editing or everyone forgets, but literally nobody remembers which scene is connected to the next one. Because she goes to bed like this, in her normal human form. We wake up with the scene from the trailer where he wakes her up with a sound horn. And obviously she immediately turns into the Hulk and starts ranting at it because that's all this character ever does.
She panics again. He just scared her. She panics. Boom, Hulk out as soon as she panics.
He's like, you're still in control, no overwhelming rage. She's like, no, it's a normal field of rage. I'm like, yes, you do seem like you're just permanently angry all of the time. It's incredibly endearing. But then he says this line.
You do revert back to Gen form when you sleep.
No, she doesn't. The last scene was literally as her as Gen human form. She couldn't revert to that form, she already was that form. This is literally the quality of the editing of this show. They can't even remember what the end of the last scene was. I can only assume that this scene is out of order and it was meant to be further on when she finished as Hulk. But if you're gonna move the order around, at least check that what they're saying is actually correct. But again, we're back to the trailer. They're going through a training montage, just doing weird stretches and stuff,
once again, during the training montage, she has to do like little poke funs at Hulk, like, oh, this is so funny. And you're just kind of like, this is something a teenager would do. An insecure teenager.
Oh, this is supposed to help the Hulk. He tells her that spandex is her best friend. Let's face it, she's very unlikely to have any other friends the way she behaves. But then he picks up, doesn't show it hitting a satellite, and when a man has done anything, he's been humiliated immediately afterwards. But no, the Rock just flies off into space. Episode 2, he probably has started an intergalactic war somewhere, because there's no way they're not going to humiliate him for it for that.
Just trying to show you how it's done.
I'm shown.
Oh yeah, that's right. They get her to shame him for it immediately afterwards. Never saw that one coming. Then they do a jump test. Obviously, she can jump the exact same distance he
and
can,
then she makes fun of him right after with the little see?
Try to get in a little dig about masculinity, which doesn't really land.
Like I said, this is something an insecure teenager would do. Instead of being confident and an adult and saying, okay, that was fun, let's what's next, or let's do it again. She's got to be like, okay, I'm insecure teenager, let's make fun of this situation. I'm a Hulk.
and because we're an insufferable cow which tried to wipe out an entire pub for absolutely no reason whatsoever early in the series. But aw, you tried. And we finish with the yoga positions where apparently he's really struggling, and she can just flip around and do all kinds of stuff because she's instantly amazing at everything. She doesn't have any challenges or obstacles to overcome. She's just...
In a way, in the comic books, like when she first turned into She-Hulk, she's like, oh, I'm hot. Like, when she turns into She-Hulk, she's like, as Jen, she's insecure, not confident, bumbling, whatever. She turns in Hulk and she's like, I'm beautiful. Green is beautiful. I'm never getting out of this form. This is my form forever. Like, if she was the She-Hulk in the comic books right now, I mean, she would have a little bit of confidence of going, yeah, look at me. Isn't this fantastic? I'm a Hulk. Look what we can do. She wouldn't be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. She's just being an insecure teenager
Instantly
right
perfect. Now. Privileged, you might say. We get a smash test. He hits the ground. She hits the ground and does even more damage to it because she's stronger than him as well. Despite the fact that she's a fraction of his size with tiny little muscles, which would mean this was literally impossible to do. But we're going to do it anyway because of fallopian tubes. And he immediately pushes her off a cliff. Honestly, best part of the series. Unfortunately, she doesn't go back up and we have to carry on suffering through this crap. But we do get She-Hulk summarizing her entire character arc in just one sentence.
So I'm clearly nailing it at all of these things. When am I ever going to use this as a lawyer?
I've got given
Yeah, she's got a semi-point like that. Like, okay, yeah, I'm strong. I'm nailing this. I know how to do flips and jumps and stuff like that. I'm a lawyer. I'm not going to be flipping and jumping around in court. I mean, I understand what she's saying right here. But he's taking her on the fun part of kind of being a Hulk of, this is what we can do. This is how, these are your powers. She should understand, look, I'm showing you how powerful you can be when you're a Hulk. And yes, you can throw a rock. You know what's the hardest thing? Not that you could throw a rock into the sun, but can you pick up a rock and barely throw it and use very little of your strength? Like, he should be showing her the difference between smashing something down and being a Hulk and having enough control to move something instead of smash it down. They're doing the training montage a little wrong.
Incredible power.
I wish they could have done it a little better.
I mastered it all perfectly, but I don't care about that. I don't care about anyone else but myself. All I want to do is get back to doing what I want to do. Seriously, in any other show, I might think that they're setting it up so that she's deliberately awful and deliberately insufferable, and then later throughout the series, she's going to grow into an actually nice person that does things for other people. But as we've seen from the trailers, the only growth this character is interested in later in this series is inside other people's trousers. And Hulk's even trying to appeal to her own twisted sense of morality. He's not even saying, look, when you've got this power, you can save other people. He decides to appeal to her just pure selfish nature. When you've got these powers, you're putting a target on your back and on the back of everyone you love. He's not even bothering to say she can save other people's lives at this point. He knows that's a lost cause. And she responds in the exact same egotistical, self-absorbed way that you've come to expect by this point in the episode.
Oh, cool. Yet another way my life is run. Thanks, Bruce!
What a wonderful little humanoid. And at this point, with his incredibly dodgy-looking CGI, he's like, look, I've told you the bad sides, but there are some good sides. You can drink alcohol. No, I'm not joking. This series really is that shallow. Of course, they even get this bit wrong. He says as a Hulk, we can metabolize alcohol incredibly fast, which means we... Negative. If you point, you're getting a dig at Iron Man. You did. Time did nothing. Again, I don't think that would happen if you had an incredibly fast. If she can leave, all she's done is jump, hit some stuff, and drank a bit.
This is the part I wanted to talk about.
I can go back. I'm already perfect. We all know I'm better than you. Obviously, I should be able to leave. And he's like, look, I know this has been challenging, which is surprising because we haven't seen any challenge. But being a superhero is a difficult job. You've got to train for this. She's like, look, I'm not going to be a superhero. I'm going to be a lawyer because they're incredibly popular. Look, I know. I could help save the entire world and fight off Thanos when he comes back. But have you considered that I could fight a parking ticket? And he's even trying to help her, actually. He's like, look, it's not one or the other. You can be a superhero and a lawyer. And throughout this entire thing, he's trying to be grounded. He's trying to be reasonable. If we're the only two people on Earth that can defend it, don't you think you should practice and pull your head out your own arse? It's like, that's why you need to go through the struggle and the challenge in order to control your emotions, control yourself, so you can control your own abilities and fight off the aliens when they inevitably come to destroy everything. That'd be a great character arc, wouldn't it? That would be a great story, a great idea for a series. No, we're gonna skip that.
Especially your anger.
Here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time. When I'm catcalled in the street, when incompetent men explain my own...
Okay, I think that it was petty of her to say when I'm catcalled in the street. Okay, I am a woman. I have been catcalled many a times. It does not anger me. I don't know what her problem is with men and them coming on to her. Because through the whole show, she wants a man, but every time a man comes on to her, she's rude to him and tells him to go away. She blows him off. She's like, bleh. Because that's a petty one to use, okay? But the next one she uses is actually real.
An area of expertise to me. Yeah, that's right. This is going where you think it is. You know, we could have had a series of struggle, challenge, and difficulty, but instead...
It is angering when... If I was a lawyer and another man lawyer, thought he was better than me and tried explaining my job and what I should have done in court better to me, that is angering. And that is something I would go in my office and have to cool off after.
I want the cup.
Ed, we're just going to say that's been her entire life. You'll never understand the challenge she's gone through because she's had to be surrounded by the most horrible of things, the most evil of people. She has faced down darkness that you can't even imagine because unlike her, you've never had to experience
the
patriarchy.
Pretty much every day, because if I don't, I will get called emotional.
I mean, you did prove that when you tried to punch a guy in the face for saying hi to you. Bit of an overreaction.
Okay, this, I wish they would have done this scene differently. It's more like, okay, I can't, she should have been like, okay, I want to learn how to control my anger. I already control my anger on these certain points in my job. Like, because she should have told Bruce, like, my job does consist of me having to, you know, I have to hold in my anger, I get called emotional, or... She shouldn't have said literally killed or something, because that was dumb. But she should have told Bruce, okay, these are my strengths already. Where else do you think I need to work? Because she should have let him know, okay, I am strong in some areas. But... I wish she would have done, this is a good point for a character arc, where she could have said, okay, but lately, okay, every time I panic, I am turning into the Hulk. But instead, right here, she proves that she's always been in control. 100%. Instead of having one of the best character arcs right here saying, well, in my job, I already have to stand there and hold in all my anger and all my emotions, or I'm going to get fired. Because that's true for any woman. I have been fired from a job for crying. My supervisor, who was also my mom, was pulling my hair and kicking me around while I was on the job. And I was crying. And I got fired. And that's also because I didn't tell on my mom. But the fact that somebody saw me crying, they said, look, Rose, it just doesn't look good that you're crying. If the manager of the store saw you crying, you know, we'd get written up or whatever, or, you know, they wouldn't invite us back to the store to inventory it if we had a bunch of employees crying. But I was 17 and I wasn't, and that was my mom, and I wasn't old enough to stand up to my mom and say, look, you know why I'm crying? Go punish her, because she's my supervisor, and she's actually doing something illegal right now. My mom doesn't understand what she did to me. At that moment, she was my supervisor, my boss. She had power and control over me, and she literally abused me and abused it. But all they saw was me crying.
Or difficult.
I mean, you are difficult. You've been arguing with Bruce Banner for 20 minutes despite
the fact that he's difficult. And so I wish they could have done this a little better and said, look, these are my strengths. Okay, where in my job, where would there be panic? Let's talk about where there would be panic or something, where I might accidentally turn into the She-Hulk. But instead, the next scene you see as her being a lawyer, she chooses whether to turn into She-Hulk or not. She's like, oh, there's somebody in here beating up the courtroom. what do I do? And you're like, you Hulk out? She didn't panic. See, this show contradicts itself a lot like that because it's like, okay, she didn't panic. You know,
15 years of experience over you.
Or I must literally get murdered.
That face is literally the reaction of every single person watching this show during that speech. A completely and utterly delusional...
I think half that speech was good and they should have done it in a better way. They could have gave her a wonderful character arc with that speech left in. If they had wrote it correctly. Like, I could have wrote that correctly. I could have been like, no, let's have them sit down and make a list of her strengths and weaknesses. And let's have her see her weaknesses and work on her weakness. Say, okay, Bruce, maybe I could take a week off of work, but I do got to get back to my job. But during this week, this is what we need to work on, and this is already my strengths. So let's work on these couple of things where maybe you blow the air horn and I don't change or something. Like, I wanted to go to ROTC in my freshman year, and my brother's like, you can't do it because can you handle being yelled at? And they were screaming in my face and all kinds of stuff, and they're like, no, you're too weak, Rose. Well, I finally took it my junior year, and it was nothing like what my brother said, but whatever. I ended up getting kicked out for being a teenager that didn't want to follow the rules.
Rant. If I don't control my own actions, I may be called difficult or get murdered. I kind of feel like there's some kind of middle ground there that most people experience. So far,
Yeah, I mean, we all experience that, and that's a strength of some of us that we have to learn. You can't cry, you can't get emotional at work. Especially a woman, if you're playing in a man's world. I've experienced that firsthand in my youth. Playing in a man's world. You have to take on some stronger strengths. Some traits. So they should go over, well, what would happen in my job as a lawyer? You know, what if the press come up to you and don't panic and turn into Hulk in front of the press or something, you know? Don't get angry at them, and it's like, we need to work on... They like I said, they could have used this as a mini character arc had they written this correctly. They could have used almost the same words that she used, but in a different setting, it would have been so right and not laughed at. But now, I hate that this whole scene is mocked because they wrote it so wrong. They could have wrote it so much better. But if you want to finish watching the rest of it, you can. He's really good to watch. But I can't say that I think. I don't want to get dinged on YouTube. I can't say anything about go watch anybody. I think I just got to react to the videos or something. But, I mean...
I don't know what's happening.
So yeah, thank you for watching. I gotta go relax for a second before I think I'm going to World of Warcraft in a few minutes. So, hey Dobby, how you doing?
SheHulk episode 1 review.
I slept in today, and so I didn't get to see Lady Panda and you guys this morning, but nobody woke me up to get the kids off to school, and so I missed Lady Panda's show, because if I don't wake up in time to get my kids off, because I get my kids off to school, and then I'm like, okay, Lady Panda's on. Time to watch Lady Panda. And, I didn't wake up this morning for it, and so I missed Lady Panda's show this morning. And I was a little upset about that, because I was like, oh, I missed Lady Panda and Dobby and everybody. I love chatting with you guys on Lady Panda's show. And I was just like, oh, I missed it. And, I was just kind of going over Velma, and now I accidentally stumbled across SheHulk. I like it. Man, I wish I was a writer on She-Hulk. I would have said, okay, these are some good ideas, but let's write it just a tad bit different than you would have. And then maybe everybody wouldn't have laughed at She-Hulk. I'm like, I could have helped him write it differently, because She-Hulk does bring up some good woman problems in the workplace that truly do happen. But it's getting laughed at because the way they wrote it, with her being so smug, and to Bruce, nobody paid attention to actually what she says, and that this is reality. It is reality what she's saying, but she said it so smugly to someone who's been through so much. She should have accepted his help and discussed these strengths and things that she goes through. It should have been a discussion between her and Bruce, not a, I'm so much better than you because I have this job. You don't have a job, by the way, Bruce. You don't have a job. I have this job where I already have to do this stuff. But obviously, you're still panicking and turning in She-Hulk for the last few days. So obviously, like I said, they could have used this as a mini arc for her to say, okay, this is where my strengths are because this is what happens to me at work. So I know I can hold my anger in when this happens. But how do I hold my anger in when something else happens? And you got people like him making fun of it. And I understand why Desparu's doing this. I just wish that he could have done it. They could have done it in such a different way that they could have wrote this scene so much better. I could have wrote this scene so much better. I need to become a Disney writer. No, I'm just kidding. Because I would have been like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's redo this scene a little bit better. And you know what? Test audiences are great. They should have had some test audiences there. Bring in some Marvel fans and be like, okay, watch this. They should have made a mock-up scene of it and said, watch this scene. And I could have said, okay, this is how we can write it better. Let's redo this, but let's do this better so that people don't make fun of it. Because, yeah, She-Hulk is strong in some ways, but she should have been... I mean, when I watch this show, one of the biggest questions that comes to my mind is, why is Bruce even hanging out with her? How do they even have a friendship? Because they don't seem... I don't see a relationship. I don't see any bond between them. Where's their bond? Where's Bruce and Jen's bond? Like, what did they do together before she became Hulk? What kind of stuff did they do together? Where'd the established friendship come from? Huh?
Can we go to somewhere when I get back from school?
Later, Aurora. Because what I'm trying to say is, like, why did he choose that cousin to hang out with? Where is the bond?
Mama, Percy!
I want to see the bond between them two. I don't see a bond. Alright, well, I'm going to flip over to World of Warcraft for a minute and see what's going on. And as soon as I flip over there, I'll explain to you the situation and what's going on at World of Warcraft. If you want some World of Warcraft drama, follow me on over there, and I will give you some drama tonight. So if you're aching for better than TV drama, no, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna take on Jen's attitude and say our drama's better than TV. No, I'm just kidding. You want to see some real life drama? Me facing up to a bully? Then come on over to World of Warcraft and watch how me and my guild are dealing with a bully in the guild. It's gonna be fun. All right, so give me a minute to change over to World of Warcraft, and we'll do